Hey everybody, it's your girl, Skinny Vagina. Has anyone ever said that in the history of the internet? Anyway, moving on. I'm here today to talk to you guys about The Walking Dead Last Mile, which is a Facebook gaming experience, because I don't really want to call it a game. Mile is M-I-L-E, so it's an acronym as well. It stands for Massive Interactive Live Event. I've been waiting for this for months. The teasers came out at like the beginning of the year, maybe even before then. And it all said like coming this summer. And so as soon as May rolled around, really as soon as April rolled around, because I live in North Carolina, it's like hot, like right away, I was immediately waiting for it. But it just started. This week we are officially on day 7. It is in beta, and so it is not perfect right now. It's good. It's a kind of a fun experience, but there are some moments that's kind of glitchy. First time playing, I created a player and, associated with my profile. And the second time I went in, I had to recreate a character because my person is gone. Now, I don't know if that was like user error or general stupidity, or it's like there and I just don't know because I'm dumb. So I'm not sure. But as far as I know right now, it just glitched out. I didn't lose any of the, I think they're called interaction points. They're the IPs. I didn't lose any of those. And so that's a good sign. I did give feedback as well. And so that's an option. They're actually encouraging that we provide feedback during this beta. So, overall, the experience has been pretty okay for a beta. It's going pretty well. I haven't had a ton of glitchy stuff happen, but there is some glitchy stuff. But also, it's a Facebook game, so it's not going to be perfect, right? So I wanted to start off by saying that while it is not set in the television universe, this is not AMC Walking Dead. This is Skybound. This is Walking Dead comic book universe. It is interesting, and it's got a pretty decent storyline so far. There are videos available for you to watch. The hosts for this interactive event are Felicia Day, Yvette Nicole Brown, and Trish Hirschberger. And so it's 2 fantastic ladies that I'm fully aware of, and then a third that I am not super familiar with. I don't really know Trish, but she seems fun and she's really upbeat and perky and she's really into the game. They do a weekly update that will be live, and so that should be every Monday if I'm not mistaken. And so we should be seeing one of those again tomorrow, which I'm excited for. The previous one was about 45 minutes long or so, and it was a full introduction to the entire story. I'll just give you a brief overview in case you don't want to sit through that. The game is starting in, like, there's 2 different communities, right? So there's a village and there's a plant. The plant is like a petroleum processing plant. And so they're really hopeful that they can get that all running. They have an engineer with them, and they're hopeful that they can get that running so that they can produce petroleum that would be usable. The village is more focused on food stores and greenhouses and growing and hunting. And so each part has their strengths and their weaknesses, and you decide which side you'd like to be on. I went with the village. They're in Alaska. And so this is very much tied into like living off the land. And since I fancy myself someone who could survive in nature, which I probably totally couldn't, this would be like a really Alexander Supertramp type situation. I would really like to believe that about myself, and so in a fictional way I will pretend that that is the kind of person that I am and that I could fully survive and live off the land. So I'm going village all the way. There are 2 different leaders. I'm not going to get into this a ton because really this story is what is unveiled to you each week. There is a visual novel, and so there are pieces that kind of play through. So there's a visual novel. There are almost like comic, they're not panels, but it's like comic script that you're going to read through. And then there's also actual videos, fully animated videos. So there's kind of a mix of everything, and you're updated throughout the week. So we got 2 full videos this last week. I'm not sure if they'll keep up at that pace. They're not super long. They're only about 2 minutes long. And then the visual novel portions update daily, so you can go in and you can read all of those scripted conversations between people. So far it's been pretty interesting. I don't really want to ruin anything for you guys in case you're interested, because we are only 7 days in, so you have an opportunity to really jump in and see how you feel about it. But I can get into the lore further down the line, right? Once people are like maybe super behind. I'm not even sure how long this event is going to go on for. It was probably mentioned and I maybe just didn't pay attention. That sounds right. But anyway, I want to get into the specifics of the game. So there are a couple different options. So you can play on either the plant side or the village side. It doesn't matter which side you pick, you will have options. Now, I don't know if those change based on which side you picked. So for me, as a villager, I have the shoreline, which offers the smokehouse and fishing. Both offer mini games. So fishing is like trying to keep a fish within a circle. Not super hard. None of these mini games require a lot of effort. They are very low maintenance, low effort, low key. The smokehouse has a lot to do with like prepping fish. And so it's kind of like chopping wood and then going over here and doing something with the fish. It's a lot of that. And so it's just a lot of tapping. The community center offers something known as lore objects. So that's not all the time, but lore objects are, you know, floating items that are around. I haven't gone through and read the descriptions of the things that I've collected yet, but I have been able to collect quite a few things. So those pop up on different days, it would appear. I got some the first day, and then since then, some have popped up in other places as well. The community center also has the access to the visual novel, but you'll be able to find access to those parts in different areas of the game. The village gate interior has a shooting mini game and then also a construct wall mini game, which is kind of like Tetris, would be the closest thing to what I could describe. It's like matching blocks. So it's really similar to Tetris. And then there's also an ammo prep game, which is kind of like a matching game where you're like matching colored tiles to prep ammo. There's also the garden interior. So it's like kind of like the greenhouse. And in there you have an option to insulate houses. That has to do with sod. So all of these houses have like, they're all sod homes apparently. Or you're using sod to additionally insulate homes. I'm not really sure. But when you do the insulate homes thing, it is also very similar to Tetris, but in like a flat puzzle kind of way. So there are pieces for you to pick off to the side and you have to fit them into what's available for spaces. Now, when it comes to the plant, all I have as options for the plant, and again, this may be different, I'm not really sure, for people who have decided to be plant people. Planners? That doesn't seem right? Planters? That's weird. Plant people, also weird. People who are at the plant seems excessively long, but that's what we're going to go with. People who are at the plant there's a break room. Again, just a lore object kind of spot, / visual novel spot. Nope, sorry, visual novel's in a different area. So just like a lore object. Plant works. So that's got the generator in it. And that mini game is actually like one of those electrical grid mini games where you work out the wire path. So that one I actually like a bit more than a lot of the other mini games. And then the plant gate has ammo prep, so same as the village gate. It has the visual novel access there and also construct wall. So again, same as the village. There is a third spot. It's the deep forest. It's off to the left top of the map. And when you click on that, you get an option to travel. These traveling options show up as live melee events on the upper right hand corner of the game as they're happening. Traveling is kind of one of my favorites. There's not a lot to it, so I don't know why I'm so interested, but I guess it just has to do with the fact that you do get some walker action in that. So as you're traveling, it's like a group of 4 people. There are ammo and flints off to the side that you can collect. So your goal is to just really collect things. And then they'll meet a small herd and you'll try to help with taking those out. And it's just a lot of tapping. Very low maintenance, low level. This is like beginner level for games. So if you are not a big gamer, but want to get through the story, you'd be fine to participate in this. Now, why would you want the points would be the question, right? For what? What are you playing all these mini games for anyway? So these mini games get you points, not only experience points, which upgrades your character, and your character can go out on solo missions that you will pick that give you rewards. So very similar to a lot of other video games like, you know, Assassin's Creed, Witcher 3, any of that kind of stuff. You're gonna have like these other like little side quests that you can do. The IPs are used to vote in events that are happening that will affect the storyline down the line. So the storyline will be directly affected by what the players have decided. So, for instance, today's question is, I'm just going to say the name, should Wyatt walk the dogs? Okay, like really seems like a low risk, low reward task, right? The dogs get walked. I don't know what that means. I don't know if Wyatt walks the dogs and he goes outside of the plant and he gets bit by a walker. I have no idea. Or is he just walking the dogs within the plant? We don't know. So you're making that decision, and is the owner of the dogs going to be upset with him if that happens? I have no idea. So you're making that decision. You're like trying to use your best judgment without really knowing a ton. So I imagine these will get more complicated as time goes on because you'll develop kind of a feeling or a relationship with the characters that you're reading about. And so I think that'll help sway your decisions one way or the other. So far I'm pretty happy with it. It's not like you're missing anything huge, but if you are feeling like you are just dying for Walking Dead content right now, which I am, because I have to wait until August 14th for Tales to drop, this is a nice like little hors d'oeuvre in between, right? I'm still getting Walking Dead story. It's interesting, it's new, it's something different, and so I'm excited to be a part of it. And you guys should be a part of it too, because you should help us vote for what should happen. So get on Facebook, because I know you're a habit anyway. Well, maybe you don't. I don't know. If you don't, I'm sorry. But like even grandmas have Facebook, so I feel like you probably have Facebook. Or you have a secret Facebook that you don't tell anybody about, but you use it to like spy on other people. I see you. I see you. But play this game when you need a break from your deep dive on your ex-boyfriend. I feel that. Who cares what that schmo is doing anyway? Just play this game instead. All right, guys. I love you. I'll see you later. Have a good one.